So we're going to be moving on to topic 2, something a little bit more focused, focusing on AEW. And we're going to be focusing on their roster growth and changes over this past 6 months and potentially down the road. Obviously, there's a lot of free agents in play. Yep. And Steve and I got into a discussion on Twitter. I think he put out a tweet about Tony Storm, Ember Moon / Athena, and there was one other person I'm blanking on, but all being free agents now and possibly them going to AEW. Maybe it was Mercedes Martinez you brought up, which conveniently, hey. And I've talked about this before in the podcast where, like, all these talents, obviously are deserving. They've won us over, in one way, shape, or form. They're very talented. And AEW, like, it's exciting to see these new people, especially on a bigger stage. But when does it become too much? And Steve, I guess I'll throw it to you. What do you think about the influx of talent that we're seeing coming in?
I think it's like any other business. I mean, if you bear in mind, this is only a, 2.5-year-old business,
yep,
roughly, give or take. And every business, typically, let's say a restaurant business, for example, when they first open, they're overstaffed. And over time, through between attrition, releasing people or, whatever, you kind of balance it out. I think in this case, they're just kind of working through. They got whoever they could to begin with.
Right.
And I think a lot of contracts will run out. So it's going to balance eventually. Okay. It's just right now they're bloated.
Right.
And they're taking on this talent on the front end, but in the back end, they have to release some people. Or not even release people, just don't re-sign them. They have to. I mean, there's no way you can't maintain this growth.
Right. Okay.
So that's where I stand on that.
All right. That makes sense. Do you feel that from a fan base, like if we start seeing more talents go, obviously we've seen Swole go, there's rumors of Marco, even though I think he's just injured, but I don't know. Everything's a rumor. Like, we're slowly seeing some people go. Do you think there will eventually be any backlash from the fans of, like, these were your starting people, and now you're letting them go for the new shiny toy?
No.
No.
I think there will, but it's a vocal minority.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I think the more talent you bring in, it doesn't have to all be WWE people. A lot of these people, they get the bad rap that they bring in all these WWE people, but a lot of them are just Ring of Honor people who happen to go to WWE or vice, that sort of thing. So do I think there's going to be backlash? Probably from some, from some of the small-time indie people and things like that. Oh, how come you don't have I'm picking somebody, Swole or Joey Janela, or I'm just picking these people,
Yeah.
And it's like, because they don't draw. You have to be able to justify your expenditures and why you're keeping these people on, and I just don't think in the long term for growth, some of these people are the key to that success. I think they were good to get started with, gave them opportunity to grow and to have opportunities, but I mean, if we're being honest, some of these people just need a lot more work than, and aren't TV ready and may never be TV ready. So that's me.
Yeah, so Papa Griff brings up in chat, he brought up Janelle and Sonny. So he's wondering, so you lose Janelle and Sonny and got Punk out of it. You get Danielson, but you lose Evans and you lose Angelico. You got Soho, but you lose Leva. Like, obviously all hypothetical names, but like,
sure,
at one point, is it like what the tipping point, I guess you could say, of like, yeah, you got obviously big wins and Punk coming back and Danielson obviously returning to form, but like, it's hard to word or phrase, but like, where's
I think the tipping point?
Yeah.
I think the tipping point is going to be if they lose a pillar.
Okay.
So your Baker, MJF, Sammy, Darby, if one of those go, or if they release one of those, then we're going to have a different conversation. But I think some of these people that are on Dark or Elevation still and haven't progressed, are let go, other than the vocal minority, complaining about it, I don't think it's going to make it really a difference. I don't think them releasing Big Swole is going to affect TV ratings or revenue or that sort of thing. So that's just my take on it.
But... Yeah, I agree with that, and I'll counter with this. So hypothetically, Swole's not making the draw. Is it because like people like that aren't given the opportunity to make that draw? Because like, for example, there's a lot of talents we see only on Dark, we only see on Elevation. Swole, the fucking Wingmen, Bears, the Bronson, and fucking I don't remember the other one's name. Like, there's a lot of talent where we just kind of throw them out there to either pad records in whichever way or form. Diamante's another one, like, and then we never. There's nothing going on for him on the top. Like, every week it's a Punk segment, every week it's a Danielson segment, and like, I think I've talked about it before, like a flash in the pan. Like, it's a little concerning. Like, Lethal was there for a week. Yeah. And I get it. If he's in like a backstage role, okay, I get it. Fine. But why make a big deal of him coming out? And then nothing? I don't know.
Oh, and I agree with that too. Yeah. No, there's a balance. You had those situations like Lethal, guys who are very talented. And there are examples of that, and their in-ring work is good. Their mic skills are good. There's guys like that who have an argument to be made. But, with regards to Swollen, I feel bad picking on her. I'm sure she's a lovely lady, but her in-ring work stinks. And she can't cut a promo. She's not very good at wrestling. And for us to assume that just because she's been there for a while means that she's earned the opportunity to be on national television with sponsors and ticket sales and so forth, I think we're stretching a little bit.
Okay.
I personally do. I just think we're hoping that she's going to be something that she may never become. So some people just don't have the talent. Fair.
And I mean, yeah, that's obviously, if this was a baseball team or anything else, it would be the same thing. Like, do you meet the requirements or whatever? Are you performing the way you want you to perform? And I agree with that. It's just like, it's another thing of, do they get the time to even do anything? Because Dark and Elevation, I get it. It's for records, but like, is Wardlow, okay, Wardlow's a little bit different, but I'm just going to use him as an example. Is Wardlow going out there power bombing a guy 5 times really doing anything? Like,
I think that might be a little excessive, them doing that. I mean, I get the point. The point is to come out. They should have probably been doing this with him since the beginning rather than now. But to come out, he's, powerful. He destroys his people in a minute or two. That's good. Like, we want a few of those to start with. But now we're just getting to the point where it's like, okay, we need a payoff here. So I'm with you on that, Like, Wardlow is a good example for that.
And I just mean, like, that little time frame for anybody. Like, okay, I'm supposed to establish a Jack Evans. If I give him 2 minutes, like, what can he really sell me? Like, there's nobody on Dark or Elevation that I'm watching. Like, I know who I'm supposed to care about because of the wins, but, like, from my standpoint, I'm like, why should I care about X? Because I just, like, that was 90 seconds. All right, on to the next one. Who else is getting a win? Okay. It's like, and I know you can't give everybody 20 minutes, like, every night, but, like, I don't know. I feel like that's something you got to kind of.
But Jack's been on Dynamite in the past.
Oh, that was just another hypothetical of, like, here's a name.
Oh, no, I know. But, like, he's been on Dynamite, for example. I'm just picking on him now, for example. Poor Swole, she's done now. We're going to pick on Jack. But, like, he was in the ring and clearly, spent too much time on the outside. There were botches left and right. Can't talk on the mic. It's just, there's things that you need to put an ass in every 18 inches, get a seat filled. And these guys just aren't doing it, and it's even if they were put on national television, do we honestly believe that they're going to make a difference at this point? Like, do you see Jack Evans headlining Double or Nothing at any point?
I think so. Like,
Really?
Well, your tag division's deep, right? I like hybrid too. I think they got a really good thing going for them. I think if we gave them an opportunity, you could have a fantastic match with them and Lucha Bros. Like, that's a style for style. Obviously, they match each other. Yeah. I think that'd be sweet. It's a little weird with the heel dynamic that they're doing all these flashy stuff, granted. But I think that could work. I mean, X Division, Cruiserweight, like, those are all flashy people that have done stuff together. I haven't noticed the botches stuff, so, like, maybe that's a thing. I get that. Safety. I get the talking thing. Maybe that's something he's got to work on. I do really like his, at least early on, his interactions with, like, crowd of just shouting at them. I think that was good. But I get it. Everybody's got stuff to work on. So I personally have faith that they could do something instead of being Hardy Family Office over here. And the same thing for, like, Private Party. Like, they got to push early on. And now they're just kind of like, hey, I'm a Hardy boy. I don't know.
But that goes back to my argument with NXT. Remember I said I don't like seeing developmental guys on national television?
True.
Same thing with those guys. Those guys aren't ready for national television yet either, and they've got them with Hardy and going out there, and it looks ridiculous. It's silly.
Yeah, I get that. Papa Griff's brought it up before, like the stables, like the pros and cons. Like, obviously AEW is very stable heavy. It's a pro because people see them all the time. So, like, you're getting it subliminally into the audience's head, like, hey, this is something important. But yeah, I get that. Reps are always important for any practice, whether it's wrestling or anything. So, like, if people need to be worked on, give them matches on a dark, give them some time, but then you could still keep them with Hardy. Maybe Hardy's doing the more main roster stuff, and they're just, you know, chuckling around background characters or whatever. I don't know. Bucks did put him over on the first show. It's Private Party. That's true. Yeah, they had a lot going for him, and then I don't know if Mark Quinn is hurt because I've seen Isaiah around, but So, and like that was the whole story too. Like, oh, Matt's the manager and he's taking money from him, blah blah blah, and like that's another thing. Storylines sometimes we're just like, oh, we're gonna do something, and then we get nothing out of it. Like, why did the Gun Club turn on Big Show? Oh, because we had a good face record, and now I don't know what to do with them. Let's make them heels and keep them having a good record. Nothing from Big Show. No rebuttal, no return, nothing.
Yeah, I know. There's plenty of that. I know. I didn't like the Bucks putting them over, though.
Okay.
I didn't like that. And I didn't like all the times Kenny was putting people over to begin with, you know, because I think they were assuming that they were already stars when they went on to TNT.
Yeah.
And I think that was a mistake to begin with.
Okay.
And they've made up for it since, you know, but at the time it was like you have to establish yourself first because you didn't come off of WWE television. So an American audience doesn't really know you.
Yeah,
so I thought that was a mistake. Yeah, so I thought that was a mistake personally. You know, in hindsight now, if they put somebody over, that's like if they do it now, that's different. But you know, when the company first started, I wasn't a fan of that. I was like, establish the top talent first, get them over, and then you could start building.
Fair.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that.
A lot of people coming on. So yeah, I guess like you said, we kind of we'll have to see how the tides shift with more people leaving.
Yeah.
Like how things go. I think my biggest fear is just like it's a WWE argument again, but like bring anybody from any company. Like just like, oh, they didn't want him. Let's put him here, and then it's like all established guys from other companies, which isn't a bad thing because dream matchups, but then there's no homegrown. Not that any of these guys are homegrown because obviously the indie scene, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being me.
That's why I was going back to the pillars. Remember I was saying like,
true.
That homegrown talent is the pillars. You know, that's those guys. And as long as you keep them on, you still have an argument. Yeah. Like if they lost MJF in a couple of years, they'd be insane. I'd back the Brinks truck up for that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what, given the Jaguars team, whatever you've got to do. Just actually, I don't know if you'd want that, but whatever it takes.
Yeah. So Papa Griff asked, did they misuse Brian Cage or is he just a pain in the ass? I don't know what's going on with Cage. I don't know if he's hurt or just MIA.
I know his wife was ruffling some feathers there. Right?
Oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think that helps the cause.
That might be a Dio question, Papa Griff. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's a couple of talents that are just like, where are they at? Like Miro, what's he doing right now? He just getting some R&R, talking to God, yelling at him.
Seems like him and Lana look like they're having a blast right now. You see any of their pictures lately? It's like they're on the beach or they're here, they're on yachts. I'm like, oh, it must be nice. Must be nice.
Like, no offense to Jericho, but I appreciated Jericho being gone. Like, get a little breather from him. But now that he's back, I'm like, all right. All right. I don't know.
Yeah, I need a little bit longer on Jericho. A little more of a break. You know, sometimes it's a bit much. He gets a little too silly for me sometimes. Yeah,
I get that. Yeah, the whole like fucking South Park Pinhead and what was it, Blockhead or Squarehead? Yeah, I was like, no.
Like, all right, man, come on. You're burning me out a little bit here.
Nope.
Yeah. Like here's one real quick. Here, let me give you a hypothetical.
Sure.
Okay. So you have like we were talking about. I'm gonna pick on poor Jack Evans again. Okay. So we have hybrid, right?
Yep.
Or you take the Briscoes. Which one would you take?
Okay, so I may be a little biased because I haven't seen any Briscoe stuff. I just know obviously their history and like. So I would probably lean toward Briscoes because they have the Ring of Honor, history. They can talk, and they got.
You've got the pencil. You're Tony Khan Jr. What do you do?
Well, first off, I'm cashing this check and I'm going. Yeah, I would definitely. I think I would lean towards Briscoes for sure. Because I feel they got, the look and they can talk, which gets people there, and then they can follow it up with whatever's in the ring. Like, I'm very excited if they do sign up with AEW, like to actually witness a Briscoe match, because I've heard this name tossed around for years. My lazy ass hasn't actually looked up a match. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. I hope there's no drama with them. I've heard one of them has some questionable history, but hopefully that's all cleared up. I don't know. Let's see. Papa Griff says, you're bringing the Briscoes, let them beat up hybrid week after week, build them up, unlike the dude powerbombing some jabroni 5 times every week. Wardlow, yeah, I'm behind Wardlow, but yeah,
this is interesting because it's not like there's going to be an immediate payoff on this, like Wardlow's power bombing all these guys, and then Wednesday he's going to lose to Punk. And then, I don't know if there'll be a turn with MJF at that point or not, but I don't know. It seems like kind of a weird lead into all this. We're making him look dominant, and then he's just going to lose to Punk.
Right.
So it's like, well, what are we doing here? What are we building up for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Papa Griff says you could also throw Janela in there to take the power bombs. Yeah, instead of like a local talent. Or Seidel. Oh, don't throw Seidel under there. Rip.
I would throw Janela in the recycling bin. That's what I'd do.
Oh, yeah?
Get the hell. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just... Yeah, it's a weird game to play. And I don't know if it's just like there's so many pieces to play with. Like figuring out what to do. Like... I love, GM mode's always fun. And I'm glad AEW has their mobile game. I wish they had it somewhere else I could play it, because I don't want to kill my phone every time I try and play it. But, I feel it would be something interesting to have everybody listed out to really see, holy shit, there's X amount of people on this roster. And then, try and finagle it all around.
Yeah.
Just, oof.
Yeah.
Because, even the old WWE games, when they had GM mode, that was something. Papa Griff and I would put everybody's name on, index cards and, physically do it while the other person was setting up their stuff. It's interesting. It's definitely not an easy job. I'm just ooh, what are we doing with all these people or whatever?
I know.
It's like, ugh.
I'd recommend for you. It's a singles match, but I recommend if you ever have a free moment in your busy life, man, 'cause you're crazy. um, if you go on YouTube and look up the Briscoes, they had a match against each other. It was like a barnyard match. It was really good. Okay. So you'd like that. I think you'd like that.
All right.
They had like a feud with each other, and it was like you two are going to settle it right here type thing, and the dad was there and stuff. It was actually really good. So if you get a chance. Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah.
It's creative freedom. The dudes can book themselves. True. Yeah. I don't know. And that's another thing too, like in a smaller part, like we're circling back to the power bombs. Like I like that Tony brings in local talent to like do stuff, but that's another facet of this whole thing of like, you have people, why are you outsourcing? Like, I guess you don't want to trash on the people that are there, but then clearly you don't care because they're not doing anything, so I don't know.
I don't know. To me, it's a waste of time. Just, a couple of them get to the point, he's dominant. We got it, I don't know.
Poor Captain Sean Dean. Yeah, he did his job.
that was funny. I actually got a kick out of that.
You Serpentico or Luther. Yeah. Chaos Project always getting trashed on Dark. Yeah, throw them in there. They build people up. Let's see. Papagraph says, did you see when Enzo and Cash showed up at one of their matches? Yeah, that was MSG. And yeah I was actually there out in New York that week or that day. And that happened that night. I was back on the train. I was there for a totally different reason, not even wrestling related. Okay. Yeah, I was there for a internet meetup. Kind of funny. And then I was like, oh, didn't even realize this was happening tonight. But yeah, that was nuts. They went into business for themselves, I think, and just just jumped out there. Yeah.
Get arrested.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, Enzo is nuts.
Cass looks good.
Yeah, Cass looks great.
How good does Cass look good? Yeah.
Mr. Will Morrissey.
He looks so good.
Yep.
Yeah, he cleaned up really well. I'm happy for him.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. AEW is always a revolving topic of like, what are we doing? What can we do? What aren't you doing? But obviously it's working out for them. Obviously we're all interested. I think it's just like these conversations come up because we want them to do well. So it's like when we see something maybe we don't agree with, it's like, okay, why are you doing that? Don't fall into similar patterns or whatever. We'll have to see.
It's like when you used to watch Family Matters or whatever, and you'd see at the end of the episode, to be continued.
Right. Yep. It's always going on. Ongoing story. So Papa Griff has one more question for us. Is AEW around 5 years from now, or have they imploded? Yikes. I have faith they'll be around. I have faith they'll be around. I can definitely see the implosion, like why potentially there could be issues. But, man, that's tough. Because there's some things I'm like, oh, that's very WCW-esque. And while I didn't watch actively during that time, like I could make comparisons. But I don't know if that's enough of a bullet in the foot to like take them down, if that makes sense. I don't know, Steve. What do you think?
I think as an entity, they'll be around. It's a question of in 5 years from now, what distribution options there are at that point. Who's to say that they're not going to go exclusively streaming? Because 5 years, think about even 5 years ago, so much has changed. So, in 5 years, are they on HBO Max exclusively? Are they on AEW network? Right. Are they on, you know what I mean? So, as an entity, I expect they'll be around. It's an ongoing business as long as they have some sort of television deal or some sort of streaming deal of some kind. Maybe Amazon wants to get into the business. Who knows? So we'll see. Everybody's looking for content, so I don't expect them to go anywhere anytime soon. Even if they're not with Warner Media anymore, I think they'll be around. Yeah. I don't foresee any issues there.
Yeah, like you said, Papa Griff, the Bucks are around at least until 2026. Then what do they do? How long does Cody last? Yeah, I think Cody seems to have his, he's in it. Bucks, obviously, we thought with EVP status, but I don't know. I would say they would stay. I would say, like, similar to the pillars, like Steve was talking earlier, I would say Cody, Bucks, and Omega are kind of like the flag has been planted. But that is a good question. Where do things go from here? Is this a, like Steve mentioned, is it a streaming thing? What's even the status? Like, is it a TNA Monday Night War to an Impact thing? Is it NWA status? Like, it's hard to say. And that's the thing too, like WWE obviously, like, has been around all these years, but obviously we're seeing some flux, and maybe it's just the internet community. We're all angry there, but then again, it could just be a different audience thing. Like, they're obviously succeeding in certain ways. So, like, is it us, the internet fans, we're not happy, but then that's not really what WWE's targeting, and they're doing the different thing, and they're successful in that way. Maybe this is a branching part. Like, you have WWE's the casual, and then AEW's the hardcore. Like, and they both succeed and flourish and go from there. But it's hard to say, because, once again, there's some moves that are being made that could be seen as questionable, whether it's a TNA route, a WCW route of big names brought in, then the floor falls from underneath them, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. A lot of hypotheticals. I don't know.
I think the better question right now is, in 5 years, will WWE still be
McMahon property?
Yeah. I think that's a more interesting question right now, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vince will be, 81?
He'll be up there. Yeah, and then especially with circling back to topic one, fucking nails in black and gold. What's Hunter thinking? How's Hunter feeling post-heart attack? I'd be devastated right now.
I was thinking about that too recently, that after his heart issue.
Yeah. Does he just say F it? Like, obviously he can't be fired, or probably won't be fired because he's family. But, like, does he just say F it, walk, and... I was hoping Ring of Honor, but it's a little late now to that. But do his own thing, or do they sell?
Does he start his own? Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Sweet. I don't know. Papa Griff says, sorry, one more. You don't need to apologize. We love talking wrestling here.
Go ahead.
For Steve, or what Sam thinks, how do you feel about how they've used Thunder Rosa?
Sam's in the bedroom. I'll do my best. What do I think about how they use Thunder Rosa? They're holding off the inevitable right now. That's for sure. I think they're trying to delay the inevitable feud. I think it's sometimes a little painful to watch, because it's like the crowd is behind Thunder at this point.
Oh, yeah.
We knew that. I mean, since the day she got there, pretty much. So now it's a question of how much longer do we hold off her not going for the belt at this point, and you could tell that's pretty much what they're doing at this point. Like, right now, I was hoping she wouldn't win the TBS, because I'm like, she shouldn't be winning that belt. I'm not saying Jade should have necessarily won, but Thunder definitely shouldn't. I'm like, no, she should be going for the gold. So
okay,
how do I feel about it overall? I wish it was a little more streamlined right now, and we had kind of a clear picture on when we're going to get her and Britt again. Mm-hmm. The delay is kind of killing me, so that's my answer.
Yeah, that's what Papa Griff mentioned. She was right there, and then Mercedes happens, the delayed again. Yeah, I get the cross-promotion stuff with Mercedes. I think they had something going on in some indie where they had fought before. I don't know. He says, I thought she'd be more prominent based on the characterization. Yeah, she's got, like Steve said, she's got the audience behind her. That pop every time her music comes on, woo, boy. It's great. I don't know. I'm a mixed bag, too, because, like, there's times where, yeah, let's go. We're doing the right thing here. And then there's other times I'm like, you're in a 3v3 tag. Okay. What?
Yeah. And then with the potential, like, let's say we get Ember and Tony in, right? Mm-hmm. Does that throw a wrench in the plans here? Does that?
Yeah, that's also true. So it gets
interesting,
More players, and we got to figure it out, just like everything. Yeah, I don't know.
See?
A lot of people.
Come soon enough, though. I can't wait till I can get her action figure. That's what I'm just
Oh yeah. Did she officially announced? I don't remember.
I think she was.
Okay, one of the recent ones.
I think she was. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Brett, a.k.a. Enigma911, and today I was joined by Steve, a.k.a. Monty's World. Steve, thanks for hopping on again, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, anytime. My pleasure.
Thank you. You guys can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat like Papa Griff did today if you're a subscriber over there. We'd love to have you in on the conversation. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. It's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday on podcast services and on YouTube. And last but not least, #ad merch store and get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us, and we would love you for it. Steve, thanks again for being on, man. Appreciate it.
You got it, brother.
Papa Griff, thanks for all the questions. We love you for all the wrestling conversation. Chat, viewers, listeners, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.